Hi, welcome to the F1 Time Portal, a Formula One history podcast by a couple of friends that love Formula One. I'm your host, Rosa.
And I'm your ever fallen in love host, Luigi. And today we are rating drivers from 1978 for our special series, the Time Portal Championship, Part 3. Let's go!
And the final part, hopefully, Luigi. And welcome back, Ratna. Hello, how are you?
I am very well, and it's very good to be here, guys.
That's good. We've had a lot of fun this series, I think, this year,
Indeed,
this season.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. There's
Ratna's
a few
really
twists and
livened it up.
turns.
He's livened
Yeah,
it up
he
with some
has.
unique picks.
Yes. Kept us on our toes.
Controversial, maybe.
He's one of our guests that has superior, researching skills to us, Luigi.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm putting him up there.
Yes, so
Pulls us
thank you.
out.
What it tells me is when it comes to a season that might mean more to me, as in not that this season doesn't, but there's seasons where there's your favourite driver that wins the championship. And if Ratna is the person that's the special guest, I'll have to pre-align with him just to make sure.
Just to not throw it.
Yes. Make sure you get the right winner. Is that what you're going to say,
That's right.
Luigi?
Yes. We can't afford the wrong TP person winning a championship. Not allowed.
Let me guess. That's for any year with Prost in it.
Well, Prost should have won 9 championships.
9? If he
9.
comes out with 9 TPs, I am getting auditors involved.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm going to get. Well, I'm even going to do an injunction on you beforehand to stop you from doing dodgy like you did. What was that year where Fittipaldi won it when he should? 73, when Stewart should have won it, and you distorted the results and gave it to Fittipaldi. Yes, you did.
Oh, that's funny. All right. I think we just get back to business now. We're up
Yes.
to race 12. I'm reading this one, am I?
Yeah, even numbers.
Even numbers. Okay. We're at the Austrian Grand Prix, and it was a very busy race. Peterson secured pole only just from Andretti. Jabouillet in the Renault was third. Reutemann was fourth. At race start, Peterson took the lead and Reutemann made a better start. Andretti made a desperate move on the outside of a corner on the first lap to regain second place, but they touched. I think it was him and Reutemann, wasn't it?
Mm.
Andretti spun out. Then heavy rain came and they stopped the race. Race organisers changed this to a 2-part race, one of 7 laps and one of 47 laps. And on the restart, the grid reformed and it was Peterson in first, Depailler in second from 13th on the first grid. This disadvantaged Villeneuve, who'd stopped for wets, unfortunately. I think he was also running second or third. When the second race restarted, Depailler would take the lead, but within half a lap, Peterson would retake the lead and pull away. Depailler would be in a big battle for second involving Villeneuve and Stuck. Interestingly, at about the 11th lap mark of race 2, the track dried out, and for a brief moment, Reutemann, who was last from the second race, was leading with Villeneuve second. A temporary Ferrari 1-2. Once again, Luigi puts these things in there just to push my buttons. Reutemann would later spin out of the final result and the final result was Peterson first by nearly 50 seconds, Depailler second, Villeneuve third, and Fittipaldi fourth. And yes, there were lots of retirements again in this race. So over to you, Ratna.
Thanks, guys. In third position, I gave it to Gilles Villeneuve.
Gilles.
Yeah, which is a bit confusing because one of my favorite DJs is Giles Peterson, who's British and also spelled Gilles. So there you go.
There you go.
But this is Gilles. And it's his first podium position in F1, in his F1 career. So well deserved. I gave the second position to the rain for causing so much drama and, breaking up the race to 2 parts. So, added a lot of excitement to the whole thing. Who knows what the outcome would have been if it didn't rain that way, judging by things dried up later on, right? And in first position, Peterson. He was, from pole position right through to his win, and this was also his final ever win. So well deserved.
Mm.
Good pick.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I wonder if, Ratner, you've got a special list. It's called the podium list. And it's like last podium, first podium of every driver, and maybe even a median podium. Like the podium that they got at the exact midpoint of their career. If that exists,
Well,
as
there
a
should be
stat.
something like that published. I'm sure there is. So there's a place in the world for something like that. But I just had to like cross check different things because sometimes facts get distorted as well. So yeah, and then you just like they report in the wrong race and wrong lineups and things like that. So
Yeah,
it's gotta keep you on
good
your
picks,
toes.
and it's a good call out to mention Peterson's final win too, because this really put him in championship contention. I think at this point he was about 9 points behind Andretti, Rosa, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
So my top three were a bit different. I had Reutemann in third, but charging through from last at the start of the second race, up to third in what was pretty changeable, challenging conditions. So well done, and it's a pity he retired. So giving some due credit to Carlos Reutemann. Depailler, I put him in second place for coming second from 13th on the grid, and just a really good drive by that Tyrrell driver, really outperforming that team. We don't hear much from the other Tyrrell driver. We do every now and then. Like Peroni, he gets a point here and there, but he's a rookie, whereas Depailler is more of an old hand and got his first win not long ago, of course. And Peterson, who could not pick Peterson? Strong pole, easily retook the lead at the start of the second race and just showed his class. And he took full advantage of Andretti making that mistake. So good on him for doing that.
So from tips where you've literally put pretty much every driver that drove in the race, in this race, you've left out Villeneuve.
I know. I didn't know it was his first podium. I didn't realise. And he nearly won a couple of races earlier. So I probably didn't notice it as much.
He was so disadvantaged in this race when they stopped it, because he stopped early for the wets and he was out of position. And then when they restarted the race, he was right down somewhere like, I don't know, 9th or 10th or something.
Yeah, he was screwed over big time.
He was absolutely, and now second time by you.
I sort of regret. I regret it. But look, one Ferrari got in. You got one Ferrari in. You got to be happy with that. You created
a tipping of 8 drivers at one stage.
Yeah.
And you shoved Renault in there. Oh, sorry, my dog is barking at the rain.
He's on my side. Yeah. He's saying, leave him alone. He admits he forgot Villeneuve and it was an accident. And, yeah.
All right. Well, I had Villeneuve in third. Same with Ratna. For not trying to get second, I had. I think he just steadied. He just finished the race in third. He didn't try for a big dive in the inside like he had that other time. He didn't spin out. He just finished the race with a podium and he got his first one. So level-headedness coming into maturing. The rookie is maturing. So I gave him that. Reutemann I gave second place to. He was on a charge, but he spun out. And the reason he was black flagged, he spun out, but he kept going, but he received outside assistance. So he was actually disqualified for that. And then, Peterson, pole, finally, I think he deserves a number one, and we're giving it to him. We're giving it to him because real life didn't.
Yes.
So,
Nicely put.
Okay. So after 12 races of 16, Andretti is still on 120, but Peterson is catching him. He's now on 108. Reutemann is third on 82 and Lauda is fourth on 64.
The rest really don't matter. But gee, isn't that close between Andretti and Peterson? So close. 12 points. It's not much.
I know. Are we going to right some wrongs, Luigi?
Oh, no. This would be interesting because I remember at the end of the recap series, I was very adamant to say, look, Peterson was a great driver, but Andretti had it over him in pace.
Yeah.
And I said, no way Peterson can win the championship, but I didn't realize it was going to be this close.
No.
So we shall see.
Okay.
Race 13 of 16, that we're at the Dutch Grand Prix. So Andretti secured an amazing pole for what was a fourth Lotus front row. He would be on pole by nearly 0.7 seconds ahead of Peterson. At race start, Andretti would take the lead and Peterson was second. Laffite in the spare Ligier, which hadn't turned a wheel all weekend, charged up from sixth to third, but he would fall back due to understeer issues with the spare car. At race start, a major dramatic accident took place with Pironi and Patrese, but both would emerge unhurt, luckily, but retired. In a race of very high attrition, Lauda would stay about 4 to 5 seconds behind the leading Lotus pair, but with about 10 laps to go, Andretti's engine was going off song, while Peterson was struggling with spongy brakes as well. So Lauda closed right up on Peterson, but Peterson did not pass Andretti due to the deal he signed. So Peterson focused on keeping Lauda at bay. Luckily for Lotus, Lauda's Brabham had a right rear vibration issue, which left the Lotus pair off the hook and allowed them to have the win. So Andretti would win, Peterson would finish second, Lauda third, Watson fourth, and Fittipaldi fifth. I've got a feeling the TP Championship lead's about to change. Let's see.
Yep.
Over to you, Ratna.
Yeah, I had Lauda at third position. Despite his challenges, he still, he did a pretty good drive overall, I would have said. Second to Peterson, again, I thought he should have won. Apart from the deal that he had, he also pretty much kept Lauda at bay, right? Essentially protecting not just Andretti, but also Lotus overall. So good on him for doing that. I was thinking of putting him first, but the thing is that it was also Andretti's final ever F1 race win.
Really?
Well, I'm hoping these facts are correct because, to rob him of that.
Are you making this one up again? Are you making
No. This is
Keegan?
not the football fantasy. No.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realise this is Andretti's final F1 win, Louis. Does that make sense?
It
to you?
sounds right to me. Yeah, I think he's right. But keep going. I'll look it up. But I'm not doubting you. I know you're very good with your data.
No, because I thought he kept going. But, he did podium subsequently, but, he did not win.
He's right.
In terms
He's
of
right.
the race.
It was the last win. He keeps going on and off.
Yeah.
I'll say this very quickly, Rosa. And this, you know how Andretti's beginning of his career, Andretti's career started in the 60s. It was on, off, in, out, in, out. Then he decided to commit, and then he goes back into in, out, in, out.
Back
because he's doing
Indy.
stuff outside of F1 as well,
US,
Indy and all the other stuff, Daytona and
right,
and amazing success, of course, in Indy and the US,
distracting.
Right,
too,
there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ratna. That was okay.
Reminding us of things, important things.
Yes, important things. Yes.
Yep.
I've gone back to old days. I have 2 drivers in third and 2 drivers in second. So I've got the 2 drivers in third are Laffite and Fittipaldi. Laffite in the spare Ligier, which had not turned a wheel to get up to third, but he fell away due to understeer. So he really performed well in that midfield to back-end car, I would say. And Fittipaldi finally reminding us he still exists. And I have to ask him why he came 4th in this race. This is the Dutch Grand Prix?
He came 5th.
He came 5th. Why did you join? Why did you start your own team with your brother? Why? Okay, and equal to the 2 drivers I put in equal second were Andretti and Lauda. So Lauda, he worked hard to challenge the Lotus pair, and if he didn't have car issues himself towards the end, I think he would have won this race because it sounds like the Lauda, the Lotuses were more hobbled than his car by the sounds of it. And Andretti, while he finished first at an amazing qualifying lap because he was well ahead of Peterson, but he had more car issues than Peterson and only won because Peterson hung back. And the win I gave to Peterson. I think he should have won this race, and he was staying behind Andretti as part of the deal. And I pivot to Ratner and say, I think you should have switched Peterson and Andretti around as well. Even though it was his final win, this should have been Peterson's final win.
Definitely.
How's that for a point?
I know. I'm regretting that now. I mean, but I just
Yeah.
thought would have been nice to just give Andretti his final, race win too. But
Yeah. Yeah.
And can
Well,
I just say very quickly, we've just had Peterson's final win and Andretti's final win in a row. I wonder how many times that's happened in Formula One history when two drivers got their final wins sequentially.
Same team, yeah.
And in the same team.
Yes.
I'd say that's never happened.
That's never happened, no.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I want to start my tipping from number one because I gave Peterson my first spot and I've said bad deal to forfeit wins. I've given Lauda second. Car issues stopped the win here. And I've given Andretti third. Really didn't want him in my points, but no one else shone. All in my comments.
Wow.
I mean, I could have put Fittipaldi in, I guess, because Luigi put Fittipaldi in or Lafitte. I could have put Lafitte in the Ligier, but I didn't think they deserved my points. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. This is manipulation to the highest degree, and I'm not liking it.
Manipulation in what way? You mean the race result, you mean?
Yeah.
I wonder if there was gambling ramifications. People put a lot of money on these things.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, not quite a race, not quite a leadership board change, Luigi, but Andretti is first on 135. Peterson is second on 130. So how many races we got to go? 3 races to go. Interesting.
Yeah.
Reutemann is third on 82 and Lauda is fourth on 77. Right.
So
we're off to
race.
the Italian Grand Prix. Okay, what a race. Andretti secured pole with Villeneuve second and an impressive Jabouillet third in the Turbo Renault. The first race start, so there's a little bit of a foreshadowing about what happens here, involved a major collision which was triggered by Patrese touching Hunt, controversially.
Apparently.
Touching Peterson. Peterson's car slammed into the barrier, back onto the track as a fireball. Many other cars and drivers were impacted, including Brambilla, who suffered a concussion. Peterson's legs were badly broken and he was heroically pulled out of his burning car by Regazzoni and Hunt. He would be helicoptered to hospital for emergency surgery. As this restart was heavily delayed, the race was shortened and both Villeneuve and Andretti jumped the start but pulled away. Lauda was third. Villeneuve was leading when the race organisers announced that Villeneuve and Andretti would get a 1-minute penalty. This meant Lauda was leading, with his teammate Watson coming from way back to claim second place. Reutemann would finish third, with his tyres causing issues. Andretti would finish sixth after the time penalty. Ratna, what did you make of this one?
Yeah, eventful and very sad race. Also then, informed my top 3 as well, which has got nothing to do with the finishers in the top 3. I've got a joint second with John Hunt and Clay Regazzoni for just being brave and selfless humans in terms of what they've done, or attempted to try and save Peterson after that unfortunate crash with that idiot Patrese. So now you know why Patrese never figured in any one of my ones.
Yeah.
And as controversial as that is, and in number 1, I gave it to Peterson. The super sweet, final ever race, and he passed on from there.
Yeah.
Just very, very sad. Yeah. And
So,
hopefully that gets him
Ratna,
in top pole position in our championship.
Are you Formula One fan and you watched this race unfold back in the day? Like, how do you have these thoughts on Patrese? Like, how did that kind of?
I mean, just based on what I've read and reports and all that, and also in the subsequent race, where the others protested so heavily against him. So there must be something in it, right? It's not just accidentally this guy's done this, and with him bobbing and weaving, I mean, clearly he's an aggressive driver of some sort. Maybe a little bit reckless as well. But then again, I've got no basis for all of that.
Right. Yeah.
So you're going down the where there's smoke, there's fire sort of angle.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we didn't mention it, but obviously Peterson passes away not from the accident, but from what was it?
Embolism.
Embolism. Yeah, as a result. Yeah.
Yeah, but not during this race. I think it was the next day that they announced that
I
the
think he died in
embolism.
hospital, right? He was taken away and
that's right.
airlifted.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, Rosa and I talk about it in the recap, but my position is Patrese never actually touched Hunt's car. It was just a racing incident that happened. This is my view anyway. The Patrese never actually touched Hunt's car. And even when you watch the footage, you don't even see them touch.
No.
Hunt was very adamant that he was touched, and Hunt was very adamant that he blamed Patrese. And I think he drove a lot of that narrative that I think appears in the media or the books, you know. And when I look at other incidents that happened through the 70s, it was no different than any other normal accident where someone had an accident and the car went up in flames. You never want to see that, of course, but
no,
it's just that they want. We talked about it in the other episode, and I think the conclusion we came to, rightly or wrongly, we could be wrong too, was that there was such grief and anger that they tried to find someone to blame. And I'm not sure if Patrese was really at fault, because I've seen so many accidents that are much worse where no one even blinked an eyelid about it. And somehow they're jumping all over Patrese. So I'm not sure if I'm not a Patrese fan. He was a scapegoat, but I'm not a Patrese fan, by the way. I really don't care. But I just feel a bit sorry for the guy.
Yeah. I agree. I think it is. I mean, and Hunt probably also felt that it was his fault because he actually did touch Peterson's car. But he just wanted someone to blame. And so he said, well, Patrese touched my car. So it was very unfortunate. And like Luigi said, we've probably seen worse accidents, probably not with such an impacting result, like the death of a driver. But yes, very sad, very, very sad for Peterson, and also I think for Patrese in the end to be so maligned by his peers for so long afterwards. And it kind of never dies down. That's the other thing, because Hunt goes into the media, he's a commentator, and he kind of just keeps that theme alive all throughout Patrese's career, unfortunately.
So it could have been maybe a Hunt. I don't know. He's probably feeling guilty or something. Is that what you reckon?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he and Peterson were good friends as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Peterson was very well liked along the grid. Everyone loved him.
Yeah, he was seen he was very well regarded. And the amazing thing about all of this is that despite this, Patrese goes on to set the record for the most number of F1 races by a driver, up to the point of his retirement. So when he retired, he retired with the record. It's obviously been beaten. I think Patrese is still in the top 10.
Yeah,
I think so. That just shows that it didn't stop the longevity of his career. That's for sure.
No.
So my top, I did have a couple of splits again. So I've gone back to those days. So I had Watson and Lauda equal third. So Lauda for winning the race, which I think people have forgotten, and then catching a helicopter to get right out of there super fast. So it's like he did not give two hoots about hanging around. And Watson had to collect the winner's trophy for him because it was a Brabham 1-2, if I recall correctly. Yeah, it was a Brabham 1-2.
Yeah.
And Watson gets equal third for great charge to take second place, and he had to pass many cars on the way to achieve that result. So it's funny to have the drivers that were 1-2 be equal third. I had similar reasons to you, Ratna. Hunt and Regazzoni for equal second for pulling Peterson out of the burning car. So such bravery and selflessness is really special. Yeah. Has Regazzoni is this the second time Regazzoni has done this?
I reckon Regazzoni's done this once before. Yes.
Yeah, this is not the first time I feel this.
No.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I gave Peterson first. He paid the ultimate price. Unlucky that he passed from injuries that were very survivable on the track. I mean, he had badly broken legs. He may have not been able to drive again. I'm not sure. But he shouldn't have passed away from that accident. It was other medical factors. And apparently, I'm not sure what the standard of medicine was like in 78 about embolisms, but it's a lot of people felt he shouldn't have passed away.
Yeah. Yeah, look, they're good picks. I'm kind of regretting mine, and this just goes to prove that I don't look at the results until after I've done my tips, and I've not I don't tally everything and try to manipulate, because I've given Peterson, I've shared third place. Peterson and Lauda got 2 points each. I said for Peterson was really challenging his teammate, deserved to finish the season. Lauda won an awkward race. I've put Watson in second, came back to grab second from a way back. I've actually put Andretti first.
Oh,
okay. Yes, I know.
Fair enough, though. Your reasons are good.
He won the title here, and he did it under very tough circumstances where his teammate was involved in a pretty dramatic accident and was helicoptered out of there, and he's not knowing whether he'd survived or not. And I'm forgiving the jump start because of that. Like, it was just such an emotional time for him, but he sewed up the championship. So that kind of, but I am regretting because it would have just been, I don't know, part of my romantic side would have been appeased by Peterson winning this. But I think me putting Peterson third with only 2 points, I think puts that to rest. I don't know. We shall see.
We shall see.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is we know Andretti sort of fades a little bit in the next two races.
It does, yes.
So I'm curious to see if Peterson has enough of a lead to hold on.
I know.
I don't think so. Now that I see it, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, because here we go. Yes, Peterson does take the lead. He's now first on 148. Andretti is now 5 points behind him on 143. And Reutemann is third on 82. So it is really a race between Peterson and Andretti, but we know Peterson doesn't race again from here on in. So, we'll see what happens.
And we also know that in previous TP episodes, drivers have received points when they're not driving. As I showed in 1968 with Jim Clark, I gave him third place for the whole season because I was so upset that he died. So I was like, nah, he's getting third every race.
That's right. You did too.
So, yeah. But let's see. I don't know if I did it here. I may have. And I'm not looking ahead, so I don't know who wins this TP right now as I read out race 15 of 16, which is the United States Grand Prix at Watkins Glen. So Andretti secured pole by over a second ahead of Reutemann. Jones was next, then Villeneuve. Just prior to the race, Andretti's car needed to be replaced, and he took over Jarrier's car. So that was his new temporary teammate for the rest of this year. This meant both Lotus drivers were in unfamiliar cars. At race start, Andretti took the lead, but had real issues with understeer and spongy brakes. As a result, he fell back to third as Reutemann and Villeneuve passed him. Ferrari would have a 1-2 for about 25 laps until Villeneuve's engine blew. Reutemann had a large lead at that point of about 30 seconds ahead of second-placed Alan Jones. Excitement was further back, though, as Jarrier passed what seemed like half the grid and was charging through and chasing down Jones for second, and he was even 3 seconds per lap faster than the Australian. But unfortunately, he would run out of fuel with a few laps to go. Scheckter would finish third in the Wolf. Jarrier would earn his first points in that Renault, as well as the first points for the Renault team. Fittipaldi had a spirited drive to finish fifth, having been last on lap one with a clutch issue. This race is also known for Patrese being banned, as other drivers, Lauda, Hunt, Scheckter, Fittipaldi, threatened to pull out if he was not blocked from racing. As they felt they were blaming Patrese for the Peterson accident at Monza. So over to you, Ratna, your top three and why.
Okay, I'll make a special mention to the medical car. It made its debut on the grid this race. Clearly, I think it's a knock-on effect from what happened in the previous race. I gave third position to Jabouille, however you pronounce his name. He came in fourth, but it was first points earned for a turbocharged car. And he was driving a Renault at the time. So, and since then, I think turbo cars have become pretty much the norm, really, races, haven't they? And second position, I give it to our good old Alan Jones for coming in second. And in the first position, I mean, irrefutably, it was Reutemann, who had a massive lead, and I think it was 30 seconds or something ahead. And and again, another big boost for Ferrari.
Okay.
Mhm.
No comments from mine. It sounds all right.
Yep.
Nearly the same as my pick. So, yeah, that's why. So I had two drivers in equal third. I had Jabouillet for 2 points and Renault team for 2 points. It's the first points for both driver and team. I had Jarier. I had two drivers in second place. I had Jarier and Jones. So Jarier for just a spirited drive. He was catching Jones at a dramatic pace, and to run out of fuel right near the end in a car he barely knew. I don't think the fuel run out was his fault. I think that was probably just, in those days, the technology wasn't great. And I think that was a bit of bad luck for Jari. I think he would have come second for sure. Mm-hmm. And Jones did come second. And for first, I gave it to Reutemann. My comment is, where did this come from? The Ferrari suddenly finding form towards the end of the season when the championships are all decided, but still a strong drive. And Reutemann would feel a little bit upset that he didn't get to drive Ferrari in 79 because he has won, I think, 3 races this year. He's done pretty well, but I've got a feeling maybe his personality had something to do with it. He's not a liked driver by many people.
He was not a bit opposite to Peterson. He wasn't that much liked,
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Except that you've given Renault points again. I'm sure you gave Renault points before, but anyway.
Yeah.
I went strange. I gave, I know. I'm trying to figure out what I did here. I've given equal points to my number 3 spot to Reutemann and Jones. I've said Jones, well, he came second in the end, and Reutemann won the race. So I needed to put them in there, I think was my thinking. Jarier, I've put second with 6 points, and I think he would have actually grabbed second spot if it wasn't for that fuel error. I've then given Andretti first spot. You guys didn't even put Andretti in there. So I said that he would have won if not for his brake issue here. And you're going to tell me at what point he left the race, Luigi.
Lap 28 of 59. Lap 28 of 59. Is that 50%? Let me check.
No, it's only last. It's only just like 48% or something.
47.4, not even 48. That's exaggerating.
Oh, come on, I did that in my head.
That's pretty good, actually.
Thank you. Oh, gosh.
I think you're being way generous on Andretti.
That is an interesting tip there.
You handed him the TP.
I've handed him the TP. I know.
Right there.
I know. Wow.
No comment.
Let's just discuss that. I mean, does the guy that signed a contract making him number 2 driver on the track deserve to win the TP?
Oh, it's like he wanted to, it's a good question. He wanted to get in that top car.
Yeah, but he did it at a price that also meant that he was never going to be world champion.
But he shouldn't lose the TP because of a driver that did 47% of the race. That's what he's losing it to.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. Because he
probably
would have won if he didn't have the brake issue. You're probably right, to be honest.
Yeah. So we have him stretching his lead then. So Andretti is now on 151 and Peterson is on 148. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because Peterson was ahead by 5. Yeah, they've switched again. And Reutemann is third on 100. All right.
Okay.
Well, there you go. It just shows
I'm still
how
not looking
much...
ahead. I don't know if someone's picked Peterson, but I don't. Maybe Ratna. Let's see if you did.
See how much integrity is in this competition.
Yeah.
Okay. So the last race of the season, we're at Canada. this is the first race at Montreal, as motorsport was not considered suitable for F1. The new track was new for everyone. So the first day of track practice was wet and rainy, and the Ferraris and Reutemann loved it on their Michelin tyres, their wet weather tyres. Then it dried out, and while Villeneuve would end up third, Reutemann would be way down in 11th. It was Jarier in the Lotus that secured an amazing pole, over 1 second ahead of his esteemed teammate. Scheckter was second, Villeneuve third, Watson fourth. At race start, Jarier charged into the lead and there was no looking back. He simply pulled away from the rest. Jones would settle into second place until he had a slow puncture, which forced him to change tyres. He would set the fastest lap, over 0.7 seconds faster than his qualifying time. Villeneuve and Scheckter would take advantage of Jones's misfortune, but when Villeneuve got up to second, not much he could do about Jarier so far ahead, which was about 30 seconds. Then Jarier had to dive into the pits on lap 49 of 70. He had no brakes and he was out of the race. Villeneuve inherited the lead at his home track and he would go on to win the race by 13 seconds. Scheckter came second, Reutemann third, and this is Villeneuve's first ever F1 win.
On his home
Over
track.
to you, Ratna. Yeah, home track too.
Yeah. So I gave first, second, and third position to Peterson. Just so that.
Yes, I see that. I see that on the spreadsheet. Good on you, Ratna.
Right. No. But seriously, I give third position to Jarier, which is just so unfortunate. I mean, what an awesome race, and to have your brakes give up on you so late in the piece. Yeah, he should have been, well, may not have won, but at least should have made the podium, right? Second position to Scheckter, decent race, deserved to be there. And first one to Villeneuve. Yeah, as you guys mentioned, first win and on home turf. And the track was eventually named after him. So it was good beginnings for a great driver.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that's pretty good picks. I'm happy with those.
Yep.
I had similar drivers, but I had Jones in third. He came ninth, but was in a safe second place. And I think he would have won the race when Jarier went out, but he didn't because he had a slow puncture. So I thought that was a bit unfortunate. And so I'm giving him due credit for third. I gave Villeneuve second. I know it's his first F1 win and at his home track, which is very special. And I know a lot of people love Villeneuve. But I couldn't give it to him because I felt 49% bad about not giving him the win, but I felt 51% happier about my first place selection. So I'll go to my first place selection, which is Jarier. So he secured pole 1 second ahead of in-form Andretti, but probably mentally switched off. He did a great start. He built up a massive lead of 30 seconds. And he was only let down by brake issues on lap 49. So he'd done most of the race. Not most. What percentage of the race had he done, Rosa, off the top of your head? 49 out of 70?
49.
I'm calling out 60%.
Out of 70.
60%?
Yeah, I'm going to say about 60%. Yep.
Yeah. So massive lead. And I think he was a true winner of this race.
Yeah. My tips are exactly the same as yours. You'll be happy to know that I didn't give Andretti any more points in this race. But yeah, I think Jones was unlucky. And Villeneuve, good win, but Jarier should have won it. Jarier was unlucky. He was leading and 49 out of 70, that's no joke. And for his brakes to fail then. Yeah. So we go to the final TP Championship standings. So we have Andretti winning the TP Championship. He's the people's champion on 151 points, just 3 points ahead of Peterson on 148, and Reutemann is third on 100. We then have Lauda in fourth on 81 and Patrese fifth on 56. I think we've shown Patrese a lot of love, I think.
Well, look,
Luigi.
he did well
Yeah.
considering Ratna's stand.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
just biased in.
And I'm still feeling a little bit. I mean, I think Andretti should have won this championship. And even when you look at the results, Andretti won 6 races to Peterson's 2. But Peterson probably had 2 in the bag there, like a couple that he let Andretti have.
Yeah.
But I still feel a little bit, even though I think Andretti was the deserved champion, I still feel a little bit ripped off that you gave him that win at the US Grand Prix, because that's what got him the lead.
That's right. That just tipped him over, didn't it?
Killed all the romance of this championship. This is the second time now, Rosa. You took it away from Stewart in 73, and you've taken it away from Peterson in 78.
Stewart did actually win the real championship in 73, though, didn't he? I'm pretty sure he did.
So that's why it's even more painful, that one. Yeah. This is medium pain.
I agree. I surprised myself there. I try to have my own principles about, especially drivers who pass away. I sometimes am a little bit more generous. But I just didn't in this one. I don't know why. I think for me, reading some of the stuff that Andretti said about winning the championship in those circumstances hit home, I think. And the fact that he had to restart the race and there you go.
That would have been tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, very interesting and enjoyable and thought-provoking season for the TP for us, Luigi.
Yeah, it was. Thank you for your time, Ratna. And to show you Ratna's dedication, Rosa, we're recording this right now. It's nearly 8 p.m. Sydney time. and Rosa and I, we were wise enough to turn the lights on before we recorded. But Ratna forgot to turn the lights on, so he's sitting in a very dark room. And he's persisted all the way in the dark, so thank you, Ratna.
Yes, thank you, Ratna.
No, this is good fun. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll see you all next time for the 1979 recap episodes.
Yes, and a very interesting season that one is too.
Yep. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, all. Thank you.